Oh, yeah. These these monks and nuns. You know, I emailed them about my civil rights being violated. Yes. Could you get those emails? There is this idea of the mandatory reporter, and then there's the persecuting of American citizens. Yeah. The Pope actually has a liability, and as much as he doesn't want to recognize that, yes. When I'm able to use your ecclesiastical courts, I will put in prison any nun or monk, yes, and any, well, a little time in prison doesn't help those in the monastic. Oh, doesn't hurt those. Oh, now, de minimis domestic partner economic interest, yes, means ownership of more than a de minimis legal or equitable interest, yes. Now, except for situations in which the judge participates in the management of such a legal or equitable interest, or the interest could be substantially affected by the outcome of a proceeding before a judge. It does not include an interest in the individual holdings with a mutual or common investment fund, an interest in securities held by an educational, religious, charitable, fraternal, or civic organization in which the judge or the judge's spouse, domestic partner, yeah, parent, or child serves as a director, an officer, an advisor, or other participant. Now, I just wanted to make sure, yes, that the judges didn't get paid to issue these. See, it seems that you had some economic interest in obstructing my rights as a father. And when I mentioned that I wanted those 5 sons to reside with me, yes, you said, well, Paul has to motion the court. Now, exactly what court do I have to motion to have you remove your fraud? Judge, did you have an economic interest? Yes. In the issuance of any court order? Yes. Known as temporary protection orders? Yeah. Permanent protection orders? Yes. Dissolutions of marriage? Yes. Or the outcomes of settlement conference setting hearings? And is the dissolution of marriage significantly different than what I responded to? See, I think that you got bribed. In fact, I think you got bribed every time that you arrested me, considering the evidence that I wasn't in Swim and I wasn't in Jefferson County. Yes, it looked like that somebody was making it of economic interest, yes, to have me arrested. Pooh. Now, I'm going to want to make sure that if you got paid for any shows, that you go to prison. And for every day for the last 8 years, 4 months, and 9 days, right, where you said, well, this is the way we're going to do things, and if I pay, you do what I say. That would be an economic interest that you got paid to do what they say. Now, these interests and securities held by educational, yes. As a graduate of BYU, oh, could you get me all the securities held by the Brigham Young Universities? Ouch! Mm, mm, mm. And then there are the Mormons. Considering you're the president of the local Mormon ward, yes. Is there some religious interest in obstructing my rights as a father? Now, there's the charitable contributions, the Kingsway. Oh, I had wanted to speak to Marilyn today about her husband's involvement, yes, in money laundering in the Foursquare denomination, yes, and all the money that's been used to conceal, yes, all the felony. Now, for all of those that give, yes, and I'm sure Mike wants you to give. If Mike used any money as the charitable contributions to a Christian denomination, those monies that were laundered to bribe judges, police officers, swim police, and sheriffs, yes, was the fraudulent use of charitable contributions to a church to pay the payroll of those. Mhm. And since all my court notices went to 1023 Kitchen Dick Road, I'm thinking that Mike used the tax deductible contributions, known as the charitable contributions, yes, to launder and then pay for the bribing of judges and police officers. So if you could arrange for me to speak to Marilyn, I'd like to know what the actual amount of all the giving was at Kingsway Foursquare Church. Yes, for the last 9 years. And since you took my sons right now, I'd like to sue Foursquare. Then there's the fraternal, the Knights of Columbus. Yeah. You know, it's kind of been said that if I eat anywhere, somebody has to pay for the meal. It's kind of like if I eat at the Salvation Army, one of our relatives, yes, is going to pay for the meal. If I eat at the Lutheran church, somebody's going to pay for the meal. Right. If I eat at the Methodist church, yeah, somebody's going to pay for the meal. Yes. Now, I would rather, yes, have my own money because of my victims' rights being enforced, so that I could pay for my own meals instead of having to eat at charitable locations because of somebody arranging for the show. Did you say that you owned the church? St. Matthew's? Well, Methodist? Oh, Presbyterian? Baptist? Oh, Catholic? Did somebody pay, yes, for the meals that I've been eating for the last 8 years, 4 months and 9 days? Yes, because somebody always pays for the show. Well, that would violate your fraternal organizations. Now, the civic organization is in which the judge or judge's spouse. Yeah. hmm Well, I've been to a lot of clothing banks. Yes. hmm I've had to ask for charity from a lot of organizations. And the thought was that you're going to pay for the show so that you could terrorize me. You could cover up your misprisioning of treason. Yes. Now, I, oh, 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 oh,